Welcome back, everybody. Let's go ahead and dive in to our first major world religion, which is Hinduism. So we'll be following along the printout that you have for these PowerPoint slides, so be sure to take notes. And let's go ahead and get started. So we can see from the world map here that the country in green is India. So this is going to be our focal point. If you're ever watching Jeopardy and there's a question that has as key phrase oldest religion, whether it deals with scripture or formation thereof, and you don't know, guess Hinduism. Hinduism is the oldest continuously practiced religion. And it's so old that we can only estimate its founding at 25 to 2000 BCE. Now, some scholars have evidence that puts this even further back, and here's something that's mind-boggling, that Hinduism predates the civilization at the Nile River Valley. In other words, the early Egyptians, right? Hinduism predates that, which is just amazing. So this is really, really old. So what happened is that what today we call Hinduism formed when a nomadic group of people that today we call the Aryans moved into the Indus River Valley, right? So they migrated in, and the Indus River Valley is about over in here. And of course, all early cultures and civilizations are associated with the river valleys because the rivers would flood periodically, and then when the flood would retreat, it would leave behind the rich nutrients. So the soil along a river valley was incredibly fertile and was great for farming. Just like in America, we have the Mississippi River Valley, right? The Nile River Valley, the Tigris and Euphrates, all early culture civilizations associated with rivers. So, of course, there was an indigenous population here in the Indus River Valley, and then when the Aryans came in, their beliefs slowly started to merge together with that of the indigenous people, which is just one of the reasons why Hinduism is so rich and has such a vast diversity of beliefs. It's because we have this combination happening. Now, because Hinduism is so old, there's no single founder or event. And as we go through to other world religions, we'll see this change. Now, the word Hindu, this shows how influential the Indus River is in it. Right, the early spelling of the Indus River was I-N-D-O, and then its pronunciation, then it picked up the U, so its pronunciation changed, and then the sound was added to the pronunciation and to the spelling. So this is where we get the word Hindu, right? It has its root in the Indus River Valley. The other important river that's associated with Hinduism is the river Ganges, which is over on this side of India. So now, we had touched upon briefly how diverse Hinduism is, and that results in a lot of different teachings, but there's some core principles that we can focus on. Now, you'll remember when we talked about ultimate, what that means, right? Now, there's two different schools, I guess we could call them schools, principal beliefs inside of Hinduism regarding ultimate reality. One is monism, and if we look at the prefix for mon, we can see M-O-N, which is same thing as M-O-N-O, mono, right? Like a motorcycle has one wheel, right? So the monists hold that everything everything in the world is part of the ultimate reality. In other words, when you come into contact with the river, that river is part of the ultimate. The earth itself is part of the ultimate. The sky, the fabric of the universe, everything is part of the ultimate. The other is dualism. You probably recognize that you see dual, right? Means two. This means that there is a separation between the ultimate and then the physical world, whereas before there's not. So that's the key distinction. There is no separation between the ultimate and the physical world, and dualism, the dualists, there is. And this is devotional Hinduism that you're probably more familiar with. For example, my father-in-law during the Vietnam War was stationed in Thailand, which is in Southeast Asia. And then he brought back this. This is the Hindu god of mirth. So this would be an example of devotional Hinduism. And we'll talk more when we get down here with incarnation and avatars, and I'll bring back the Hindu god of mirth. So, what is the ultimate reality? And in Hinduism, it is Brahman. Brahman. Literally means expansive or that which always grows. Now, for Brahman, a good way to think about Brahman is to imagine a balloon, right? So I have a balloon, we have to imagine it. And then you blow up the balloon, right? We're going to tie it off and now we're going to hold it, okay? So I'm holding a balloon. Now, Brahman is not in the balloon. What's in the balloon would be the universe, all the different galaxies, all the different stars, our sun, our planet inside of this balloon. But Brahman is outside the balloon. Yeah, it's kind of a neat thought. Brahman is not part of the physical world. And again, this is dualism. For monism, for the monists, Brahman, it's everything is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. Now, for us to kind of dive in and do a little scripture study for Brahman, this is one of the Hindu scriptures. This is the Bhagavad Gita. And what I'd like for us to do is to go in and read some passages from the Bhagavad Gita that talk more about Brahman, so we can have first-hand knowledge about Brahman and what Brahman is. So this is pronounced Bhagavad Gita, right? And this was translated, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because I would just do such a poor job. So let's take a look inside the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, verse 13. I shall now explain to you the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal. This is beginningless and subordinate to me. It is called Brahman, the spirit, and it lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. Right, so here's something that's important to recognize about Brahman. Brahman is knowable, right? Brahman is what? Eternal. It is beginningless. What does that mean? That Brahman always was. Brahman never had a beginning. Brahman has always been spirit. It lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. Now, in the next lecture, we'll dive more into this idea of being beyond cause and effect in the next lecture.